from Lesson 5. Practice using area models and partial quotients to divide. We're going to study the example showing division with two-digit divisor using partial quotients. Then we're going to use it to solve questions 1 through 5. Here's our example. Find 1,386 divided by 22. To divide using partial quotients, estimate a number that can be multiplied by the divisor. So basically we're going to be skip counting to find multiples that could go into this number. So it looks like they did their divisor is 22. They skip counted. They found the number 60, which gave them 132. So they dropped the 0, so it was 60. So it was 1,320. They subtracted. They got 66. Good thing 22 times 3 gives you 66. So put those together. Your quotient is 63. They said repeat these steps until you reach a number less than the divisor. All right, so let's look at number 1. Look at the example for the first step. Jamie thought, how many groups of 20 in 1,400? There are 70. If he continues with the division steps, when will he know that his first estimate of 70 is too high? That's a great point. So, is this problem asking me to solve or write a sentence? Looks like it wants me to estimate and write a sentence. If he continues with the division steps, when will he know that his first estimate of 70 is too high? Well, our answer is 60. The first number we should use is 60. If he went with 70, 70 would be 22 times 70. He gets 1,540. That is greater than the dividend, 1,386. So 70 is too high. Multiply 14 by multiples of 10 to complete the table. Now, if you don't know, 14 is simple as doing your 7. So I have 7, 14, goes here, 21, 28. Next, you would have 42. Then you will have 56. And then 70. And then finally 84. Now, since these have zeros behind it, we'll put a 0 behind my numbers. Again, I am just doing multiples of 7. These are just in doubles. We're doing 14. Well, that was easy. Write a multiple of 10 from the table to show the greatest partial quotient to start with for each division problem. Below, 14 divided by 462. Well, 462 has got to fall between these two numbers. I need a number that's less than 462, so I can't use 40. I will have to go with 30. B, 350. What would I use against 350? Well, 30 is too big, so I'm going to have to go with 20. 280 would be great. 14 divided by 798. 798. 840 is too big, so I'll have to go with 50. And then D, 14 divided by 588. Too big, just right. Again, the reason why I chose 30 is because I could do 420. I chose this one because I could do 280. This one would give me 700. And this one would give me 560. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, now we turn over to the other side. Being divided by 504. So in this big box, we're going to put 504. This question mark represents my quotient. This is my dividend. And this is my divisor. You don't know the answer yet, so let's go ahead and solve. 14 times 30. Well, this information was given us on the other side. When I go to my 14s and I go to 30, 14 times 30 is 420. So when I flip back over, I have 420. And they already told me what number to use. I'm going to use 30. When I do 420 minus 504, I have to borrow from the 5. That becomes a 4. This becomes a 10. I end up with 4, 8, 84. 14 times 6. Well, it already is telling me that it's going to be 84 because I have 84 here. And I know that 14 gives me 84 because 14 times 6 gives me 84. 14 times 60 gives me 840. We call thinking like a scientist. So now I know that I'm using 6. 30 plus 6 gives me a quotient of 36. Here's my partial quotient, number 1, plus my partial quotient, number 2. Add the numbers up, and that is the product. Same thing, still got to add it up. So my answer is 36. All right, moving on. A rectangular box, volume is 504 cubic inches. All right, 504 again. The width of the box is 7. All right, so I know length times width times height. The width is 7. The height is 6. And the volume is 504. So, looks like we don't know what this is. What we are left to do is multiply the two numbers we do have. 7 times 6 gives me 42. So now we know we're doing 42 divided by 4. And that will give us the length. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a long division. 504. And this one seems pretty obvious. If I'm going to subtract into 50, I don't need to go ahead and do 42 plus 42 because I can just use 42 here. So that means 42 times 1. When I subtract, I get 4. This gives me 10. I end up with 8. Bring down the 4. Oh, this looks very familiar. I'm looking for 84. It's very simple. 42 plus 42. I get 4 and I get 8. So that means that 42 times 2 gives me 84. So I put this here, 12. 84 minus 84, we know that's going to be a 0. My quotient is 12. So use the partial quotient method shown in the example to find the length of the box. Well, the length is 12 inches. Done. Number 5. A hunger relief program ships boxes that holds 25 pounds of food. How many boxes will 2,350 pounds of food fill? So it looks like I have my dividend and I have my divisor. 2,350 divided by 25. Now, I know my 25s because I know how to count by quarters. I get 0, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. And really, I could drop a 0 in. I multiply the 10, so this will now become 250, 500, 750, 1,000, 1,250. So let's go ahead and divide. I cannot do the 23, so I'll have to do 235. 235. I'll have to go with a number such as 125. No, I could go a little bit higher than that. 150. 175. 200. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 225, 10, 250. Looks like I'm going to have to go with 9. I end up with 225 minus 235. I get 0 and 1. Drop this 0 in. You multiply the tens. If I'm going to do 100, I'm going to have to use 4s right here. 100 minus 100, I get 0. My quotient is 94. It's going to take 94 boxes. And that is our answer. All right. Make sure you finish your homework. Don't lose, don't leave. And don't forget to put your name.